Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Lexa Peterson, and joining us today from the Australian Army is Sergeant Jeanette McNeely. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. The live stream of this ceremony is made possible by the Returned and Services League of Australia and the RSL and Services Clubs Association. We welcome members who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the pool of reflection by visitors to the memorial and students on behalf of North Cotslow Primary School visiting from Cotslow, Western Australia, and students on behalf of Strathcona Baptist Girls Grammar visiting from Canterbury, Victoria. If you're able, please stand and join in singing the National Anthem.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil, our home is got by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Students and visitors who are able to do so, please be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed at the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record that they themselves made. Tonight, we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 103,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the pool of reflection.
Today we remember and pay tribute to Sergeant John Hennessy. John Hennessy was born in Clarence Park, Adelaide on the 20th of October 1895. He was one of 4 children born to John and Margaret Hennessy, both locals of Adelaide. John and his 2 brothers, George and Arthur, attended the Christian Brothers College School in Adelaide. After finishing school, John worked as a contractor's overseer in Adelaide. He joined the senior cadets in the 7th Infantry in 1911 and was commissioned as a lieutenant. Hennessy enlisted in the Australian Imperial Force on the 19th of October 1914, the day before his 19th birthday. As he was under 21 years of age, both his parents gave written consent for him to enlist. Hennessy was assigned to the 9th Light Horse Regiment with the rank of private, but was promoted to sergeant on his 19th birthday. After joining the regiment, Hennessy travelled to Melbourne, where the Light Horse were training at the Broadmeadows camp. He was well liked by the men of the 9th Light Horse and was presented with a silver-mounted riding whip by the non-commissioned officers of the regiment whilst they were in camp. After 4 months of training, Sergeant John Hennessy left Australia on HMAT Karoo on the 11th of February 1915. He arrived in Egypt in March and undertook further training with the 9th Light Horse before they were deployed, dismounted to Gallipoli in May to reinforce the infantry on the peninsula. Shortly after his arrival on Gallipoli, Hennessy was hospitalised at Anzac Cove, suffering from influenza. He returned to duty on the 3rd of June, joining the rest of his regiment on Walker's Ridge. He was evacuated from Walker's Ridge on the 30th of June, suffering from a middle ear infection. Although his condition was initially described as being only slightly ill, Hennessy was transferred to the transport ship Clacton and taken to the Greek island of Lemnos for treatment. Given the nature of his illness and the medical report that he was suffering from nervous shock, Hennessy was transported to HMAT Sang B for evacuation to Malta. He arrived on the 9th of July and was admitted to hospital. Over the following weeks, Hennessy's condition worsened. He underwent an operation in an attempt to treat the illness, but it was unsuccessful. By the 22nd of July, he was reported as being dangerously ill, the ear infection having spread to his brain. Hennessy wrote to his parents on the morning of the 23rd of July, assuring them he was making safe and rapid progress in his recovery. Despite those assurances and the efforts of the medical staff at the Maltese hospital, Sergeant John Hennessy died of a cerebral abscess on the 23rd of July, 1915. He was 19 years old. John Hennessy was buried in Adaclarata Cemetery, Malta, on the 24th of July 1915. His grave marker reads, Requiescat in paz, rest in peace. Hennessy's name is also listed on the Roll of Honour on my right, amongst more than 62,000 Australians who died whilst serving in the First World War. His photograph is displayed today beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Sergeant John Hennessy, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Poziere or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over, but in Australia they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. On behalf of the Director, staff and volunteers, thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial today. We wish you all a very pleasant evening.